You know that moment when life stops feeling like a random sequence of events, and you suddenly realize that every experience is shaping you, testing you, nudging you to look inward? When things get heavy, when people, situations, and expectations begin to push against your limits, there's a quiet question rising inside you. How should I respond? It's not a question that asks for perfection. It's not a question anyone else can answer for you. It's a question that asks for you, your attention, your honesty, your willingness to look within without masks, without pretending, without diluting your truth. There comes a moment in every adult life when you realize you're no longer reacting only to what's happening now. You're reacting from everything you've carried for years. The thoughts that greet you the moment you open your eyes. The quiet doubts you bury beneath routines, conversations, and daily responsibilities. The heaviness no one sees, but you feel it. In every breath, in every heartbeat, in the silence between obligations. And somewhere in that silence, quietly, almost unnoticed, the same question appears again. How do I respond when people and situations constantly test my patience, my kindness, my energy? No one taught us that. There was no course on emotional resilience, no manual for surviving in a world where people sometimes hurt, manipulate, or take advantage. Maybe you know how to write the perfect email. Maybe you memorized the theory of success. But life isn't theory. Life is practice, and practice sometimes hurts. That's why the first lesson isn't about how you respond to others. It's about how you understand yourself. Your reactions don't reveal who they are. They reveal who you are. They show the state of your inner silence, your ability to stay centered while the world shakes around you. People often believe strength means never showing weakness. But real strength begins the moment you admit what you've been suppressing for years. This is too much. I don't want to live like this anymore. That is not weakness. That is the beginning of transformation. It's the moment you understand your worth does not depend on someone else's opinion, their capacity to love, or their expectations. You don't have to fix people. You don't have to dance to the rhythm of someone else's chaos. Someone might provoke you because they don't know better. Someone might hurt you because they can't love beyond their own wounds. Someone might disappoint you simply because they see only themselves. That's life. But it's not your responsibility to carry. When you're faced with this truth, you have a choice. To react impulsively from an old wound, from exhaustion, from a familiar pattern, or to respond with clarity, rooted in calmness that doesn't depend on anyone else's noise. That is a victory. A victory no one sees, but one you feel deeply. A victory that comes from understanding you can only control yourself. You can choose what you will no longer accept. You can build boundaries that protect your inner stability without guilt. You are not obligated to be good for everyone. You are not obligated to be available all the time. You are not obligated to carry the weight others place on your shoulders. But you are obligated to yourself, to remain calm, clear, grounded, and fair to your own inner space. And this This is where life truly begins. When you stop reacting automatically, when you stop moving to the beat of someone else's chaos, and you start choosing. Choosing how you will respond. Choosing what you won't allow. Choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. Choosing clarity over emotional confusion. Once you begin choosing this way, life feels different. You no longer respond to everything. You no longer defend yourself from every blow. Instead, you build, you protect, you grow. You don't seek validation because your worth is affirmed every time you choose yourself. And one day, you realize the most important truth. When you stop trying to be everything for everyone, you finally become what you've been searching for all along. You become your own peace, your own clarity, your own authenticity. Your life doesn't begin when the world becomes easier or when people become better. Your life begins now, in the moment you stop pouring energy into what you cannot change and begin guiding your inner world. Every boundary you set, every moment you choose yourself, every time you respond from peace rather than impulse, that is a victory that reshapes you from within. And in that stillness, in that quiet determination, you discover what was always hidden. Real strength does not come from fighting the world. It comes from leading yourself. No storm, no manipulation, no lack of love from others can shake your inner peace once you've built it. Because then, you finally find what is most precious, yourself. And in that realization, you understand. This is the beginning of your real life. A life not defined by expectations, not governed by fear, not shaped by the opinions of others. A life where you choose your rhythm, your reactions, your peace. And in this very moment, you have already stepped into it.